This video is going to show how to winterize our red Easement machine, both at the shop and in the field. So if you're in the shop, you're going to start by coming to our tank compressor. We're going to make sure that the tool pressure is as high as it goes. Tool's on the left, tank pressure's on the right. Go ahead and plug it in, and on the side you're going to be able to switch it on. Now, right now it's already switched on. The tank pressure is already full, so it hasn't turned on. Once the tank pressure is full, you're going to come out to the Easement machine. And you're going to screw this attachment onto the Easement machine. And as you can see, all it is just a regular attachment, just like any attachment going into a tire pressure, tank pressure machine. Once we get that in, make sure this red lever is at a 90. That will block off the air from going into the system. So then we're going to fire the system up, and we're going to extend the hose out. You can see I got it running down there, so I'm not dumping water on our walkway. Ideally, you want the machine higher than the hoses. The higher it is, the better. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the machine on. We're not going to turn the machine on for this one. We're just going to go ahead and fire the tank pressure up. We fire the tank pressure up, and you can see it's starting to blow water out of the hose now. Pressure from the tank is blowing that water out. So we'll let it run until it runs dry. Should get it fairly dry, but when we're done, we're going to reel the hose up, and we are going to use zip ties to go ahead and get the last little bit of water out. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of water left in this Easement machine. Last time it was used was in the summer, and so no one winterized it. This is also how you get water out if you want that hose to be lighter when you're working in easement areas. So as you can see, it's gotten most of the water out, but we want to get all of that water out, because when we put this thing on the road, that little bit of water left in the hose reel, if it freezes in there, it could plug the hose, or even worse, it could create essentially a frozen projectile that will shoot out. It could shoot out, or it could blow a hose. Very dangerous. Okay, so now once that is done, we're going to come up here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this air off to let the pressure build back up. And we're going to go ahead and reel this machine. So I push that knob in to make the reel function, and now I'm going to go ahead and reel the reel in. Correction, I have to pull that knob out. Pull that knob out in the back. Now the reel should work. All I'm doing is reeling the hose in. Now once I get it reeled in, I'm going to go ahead and zip tie it down so that it doesn't knock on the bottom when it's doing circles. One moment. And as you can see, I have the hose zip tied down. Mainly we don't want this metal piece hitting that metal down there when we're spinning the reel system. Now if we spin it in reverse, you can see how it's dumping water out with every turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the air pressure hose to help dump more water out faster. So I've turned the air pressure on. It's going to help to dump that water out. So I'm going to turn the air pressure off. We'll let that air build up again. I'm going to go through this process a few more times. Make sure all that water's out. Right now I'm just spinning it while I let the air pressure build back up in our air compressor. I'll go ahead and turn the air compressor back on. Okay, I'm going to continue that process until water no longer comes out of the reel. One thing we can do to speed this process up a bunch is the last time you use this reel system on the job, once you're done, you take the jetter head off like it is and reel this reel system all the way out. And as you reel it in, especially if you're on a hill, it's going to dump all that water out in the same way that if you had a garden hose that was full of water in the fall and you wanted to get it out, you might just stand on top of the porch and roll the hose up while you're on the porch, and gravity will push all the water out. So that's one way to make this process a lot faster. But as it is now, because I only have one person, I'm gonna have to do this a few times where I continue to let the hose go round and around and dump water out, and use the air compressor on and off until water is no longer coming out. That concludes our winterization video for when it's at the shop, and you can follow the same process when you're on the job. We will have another video that shows you how to dump the water out using the elevation mechanism I talked about, where you pull the whole hose out and make sure the Easement machine is on a higher plane than the rest of the hose, and reel it in. That's the most effective way. That in combination with the air compressor running, the most effective way to get all the water out.